Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to my live Q&A in my lingerie. And I'm so grateful you guys are here. I do this every Wednesday. It just depends on what part of the world I'm in terms of what time it comes out. But I love to do these with you guys. So I address a topic like today, the 5 habits that women love is what we're going to be talking about. And I'll be curious if some of these you already do and you're not even taking credit for it. So you might be doing this and women might be loving it and you're not even taking credit for what you're doing right. So I'm very curious, which one of these do you already do? And as always, we do this in a live format so that you guys can go to the chat box. You can put your questions in there. I can answer your questions. And it's my way of being able to connect with you guys to hear what's really going on in your journey with women, because that's my whole goal here is to help you guys, remove the confusion, remove the chaos so that you can connect with women intimately and feel confident as you do that. When you know where you're going, when you have direction, you can be confident. So, with that being said, let's kick this off. Welcome, Mark Wheeler, Ninja Wolf, my darling Ninja Wolf. Thank you for being here. He says his first question is, if a woman is twisting her hair with her finger, does that mean that she likes me because I see and talk to her every day? Sometimes that is a flirty move that women subconsciously do that we don't even realize it. We start getting a little bit fidgety. Um, the other way that you can tell is if she starts being playful with you, if she starts touching you like, stop it. Or as funny as that sounds, we still do that today as grown women. So she's kind of like touching you, or if she's encouraging the conversation to go along. Like if a woman's fidgeting because she wants to get away from you, that's not flirting. But if she continues to ask questions, then that is her way of getting to know you more, which means there's a possibility that she's actually flirting with you. What's up, Chris Lesser? I love that. He says, Arica, when a man treats a woman like a queen, does that result in a man putting a woman on a pedestal? Here's the thing, because I want to always be cautious with this, because I feel like a lot of guys who come to my channel who are drawn to my work, so to speak, tend to be guys who are, friend zoned, or guys who are the nice guy. And so with a nice guy, this can be a tricky balance. I would say for most men, uh, the common answer would be no, because it's a mutual exchange of respecting and honor one another. When you put someone on a pedestal, it's when you put them above yourself. So let's bring some clarity to that. Um, and what treating a woman like a queen really means. But anytime we put someone on a pedestal, what is a pedestal? We have to look up to them, right? And so we don't ever want to put someone constantly above ourselves. We always want to first love ourselves and then be able to love them in the same capacity that we love ourselves. So it's becoming equals. Yeah, put her on a pedestal, but make sure you're standing on one as well to be able to meet her by respecting yourself, by honoring yourself. So when you give to a woman, you have to also make sure, am I giving back to myself the same way? Like if I tell her that she's beautiful, do I remind myself that I'm a boss? If I take her out on a date, am I going and spending time by myself to really nourish myself? If I buy her roses, am I buying myself that book or that tech device that I really want? Like, am I mirroring back what I'm giving? But if I'm just giving to this woman and I'm not reciprocating back to myself, then she's on a pedestal and I'm down here, and that's a problem. I'm giving to someone else when I'm not even willing to give to myself, and that's where we get in trouble. So I hope that answers your question. But all in all, it should be a mutual thing. It should be a queen and a king respecting, honoring, loving, championing one another, supporting one another. Chris, I hope that answers your question. Next question is, wow, I love when you guys show up. You guys are like, boom. Chris also says, Arica, what do you think about speed dating? We do a video about it. I have not done a video about it. I should do a video about it. Listen, anytime we are putting ourselves in an opportunity to meet someone else, we can always win if we have that kind of winner's mindset of like, this is an opportunity to get to know another person. So I would say always put yourself in opportunities where you have the possibility of winning. However, if you're a massive introvert and it's going to freak you out and you're just going to sit there like a deer in the headlights, um, that may not be the best avenue for you. So go to places where it's your strengths. However, you can also work through that. I believe that everything can be communicated through. Um, so in that regards, it's like if you are an introvert and you show up to speed dating, you can always say, look, I'm a bit of an introvert, but I'm putting myself out there. So I'm going to do my best. Most women are compassionate beings. So she's going to meet you halfway and go, oh, well, let me help you out. So you can always win in these situations. You just may have to be willing, or let me rephrase that. You will always have to be willing to go out of your comfort zones. Always, 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 always. Gary Cooper says, clean them up after you make the mess gently with supervision. It shows care and affection. What do you mean by that? Because that can be interpreted in a lot of ways, especially through my little mind. Um, Hello, Antonio. Susoma says, love your biceps, Erica. Can you do a cheeky flex? That's so funny. And yes, Chris, I will get on this fragrance video. So I'm going to answer one of these. So one of the habits that women really love is this consistency in communication. This is why I don't agree with other dating advice that says, oh, you need to wait 3 days before you message a woman. That right there is a red flag to a woman. It shows her that you're immediately playing games. Like, that's so stupid. Would you go to Burger King? Would you go to Chick-fil-A and go, hi, I'd like a burger, or I'd like a chicken sandwich, or fries, and a Coke, and then go, oh, but I'm going to come back 3 days later and pick it up. Well, it's stale. It's not going to taste good. It's going to be cold. It's the same thing with relationships. If you ask a woman for her phone number, if you ask for a contact and you wait for 3 days, that's a red flag for her. So many people follow this advice, and it's like, yeah, once again, it preys on women who have low self-esteem issues, which means it's going to be a lot of work for you because chances are she's not doing the work on herself. And so she's going to tolerate this kind of behavior from you. So let's just call a spade a spade. But here's the thing, when you're consistent with your communication, I'm not saying that you're crawling up her ass and you're messaging her 24/7, but when you're consistent, when you ask for her phone number and you follow up, when you see her and you say, hey, it was wonderful seeing you. You look beautiful in that red dress. I love those high heels on you. That consistency in communication tells her that you are a man of character, that she can rely on you, that there is an accountability here of like, when I show up, he shows up. There's a consistency in his communication. So, number one, consistency and communication. Last time, Ninja Wolf, you took notes for me. If you want to write that down, Ninja Wolf, be that way. Consistency and communication. And some of you guys are like, well, I don't know what to say. What do I text her? What do I, say to her after a date? I don't know what to say. Well, that's why I have my compliments Bible, because it tells you exactly what to say to a woman. It's right in the chat box. Go and get it so that you can never make the excuse of saying, I don't know what to say. I'm like, bullshit. You do know what to say. I have it right there in a compliments Bible. Antonio, hello. I already said hi to you. And Mark says, Mark, I can't read that. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Hi, Tyler. Hi, Jason from Texas. Jason, I'm in Texas. I'm always shocked by how friendly people are here. I've been in Bali, I've been in Europe, and I'm always like, why is everyone talking to me? And I think maybe I've changed a little bit. I'm like, do we always have to talk all the time? I've got places to go, but it's quite endearing. Sometimes annoying, but sometimes endearing. Hello, Amit. Hello, Nicholas. Keep going. Thank you, babe. Hi, Brian. What up, boo boo? Brian's one of my emotional warriors. Oh, he says the E is silent. Whaler. You're welcome, Chris. Raheem says, oh, it's very sweet. Amit says 100%. Raheem says, hi, Erica. Yes, I come here because I'm honestly drawn to the sound of your charming voice and that assertive smile. Thank you. That's super, super kind. Thank you for sharing that with me. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Michael says the explanation about putting her on a pedestal was very helpful. Thank you. I'm glad. Yes, I want to bring clarity to that. I see that some new guys are joining this. If you did not watch the first half of this video, you guys must watch that part where it talks about what it looks like to put women on a pedestal. I want you to watch that video. I should probably do a whole video about that. But that I'm really glad that Chris asked that question because it was really good. All right. Second thing, it's common sense. But you guys, what I don't see is men being consistent with this. And that is consistency with your grooming. Guys, just go, I'm gonna shave for this date. I'm gonna manscape. You don't know when you're gonna meet a woman. And I think some women, when you're in a relationship, guys start slacking off of this, and it's just like, he's just a slob. It's gross. It's like, oh, well, she's comfortable with me. No, she's not. She's gonna stop having sex with you because you're getting lazy. You're getting too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable. So, guys with grooming, I see that you guys do this to prepare for something. No, this is a life habit that you want to habitually do. That means when you walk out of the door, groom, clean teeth, hair in shape, get that haircut, like nails, make sure they're clean. Like when you walk out of the door, make sure that you are grooming. And I know it's like such a common sense thing. It's common sense, but without common action, it becomes a problem. I'm going to say that again. Common sense without common action becomes a problem. So some of you guys know this, but you're not doing it. And so I'm encouraging you guys, get consistent with your grooming because I guarantee you, anywhere in the world that I go, for the most part, I see men slacking in this. And when you see that one guy who's properly groomed, you're just like, ah, there are still unicorns amongst us in the land. So I hope that I said that strong enough to kind of so that you guys will consistently do it. Mark says, should I offer a girl I'm talking to live with me when she gets back from being out of the field, out of America? You got to give me a whole lot of more context in that. I don't know if you guys are dating. I don't know how long you've been talking. I have no idea. You have to give me clarity, man. If you guys have just been talking online and you've never met her, no. No, it's called Airbnb. It's called hotels. She should find one. But no, I do not suggest you doing that. Amit says, why don't you have any community post? That's a great question. I don't know if people actually go there and use it. I would post there more if I knew that that was something that people actually went to see. But um, I will try it out. But you guys let me know in the chat box. Do you guys go to actual YouTubers community? And if so, should I be more active there? It's a great question. Thank you for bringing it up, Amit. Brian. Okay, so actually, I'm going to say number 3 first, and then I'm going to answer Brian's question because it's about jealousy. So, first one, consistency and communication. Quit waiting 3 days to message women. When you go on a date with her, quit waiting. Be consistent with your communication. Like, this is a life skill, whether you're single or in a relationship. A woman wants this. 2, grooming, guys. Get consistent with it. Just do it. Don't do it for special occasions because you never know when you're going to meet a woman. So be consistent. So verbally expressive. This is where every guy's going to go. I know, because men haven't been really equipped to do that. That's why I have the Compliments Bible to help you guys with this. So make sure that you get that Compliments Bible if you struggle with this. Verbally expressive. It's one of those things that I hear men say, well, she just knows I love her. She should just know that. No one knows anything unless you tell them, and you tell them consistently. It's like if you as a man, let's say if you're busting your ass at your job and your boss never acknowledges you, how would that feel? But if you had a boss who was consistently watching you and going, hey, I really like the way you did that today. Keep going at that. Or, hey, I notice that you're really putting your all into this, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. You're going to give that boss your all. It's the same thing with a woman. When you are verbally expressive to her, she is going to give you her all. But if you don't, if you hold that back and you think, well, I didn't, here's what men do. You guys have a whole conversation in your head without having a conversation with her. And so you're like, well, I didn't think I needed to say that. Wrong. You do need to say it. You do need to verbally express yourself on a consistent basis. Why? Because she wants to know why she's in this relationship. Do you love her? Do you think she's pretty? Did the effort that she just made, she put in to look beautiful, do you even appreciate that? Do you even want that? Does that even matter to you? Like, we need to know if we're valued and seen by the people in our life. And I don't care what pair of genitals you have, people need to know that they are seen, that they matter, that they value, that they're valued, and we need to hear that on a consistent basis. So being verbally expressive is super powerful. It keeps the relationship healthy, it keeps the woman interested, it shows that she matters, and when a person feels like they matter, they will show up. So if you want women to show up more with you, then be verbally expressive with her. That also means, and here's the other thing, verbally expressive even when things aren't going well. Ouch. And so I want to come back to Brian's question. Um, I think men think that they have to keep a lot of stuff inside. And I hear that consistently with the clients that I work with, you know. And at the end of the day, even when things aren't right, going right in a relationship, a woman even needs to hear that. And here's why. A woman stops trusting a man when she feels like he's hiding something from her. And he's hiding something from her when there are things going on inside of him regarding the relationship that he is not verbally expressing to her. And too often, I see my guys, my clients, the guys that I work with one on one or in a group coaching setting, and they are saying, well, I didn't want to cause any problems. She already has enough on her plate. Things are going so well in the relationship. I didn't want to mess it up. I knew if I said that, she would explode. Men come up with all of these things, or I've just got too much on my plate. I don't need anything else to bother me. And so I'm just going to leave it alone. What happens is when you're leaving it alone, you're not telling the truth. You're not being honest in the relationship. And she senses that lack of integrity. You're not being in integrity with yourself by using your voice and expressing yourself and your concerns in the relationship. And you're withholding that from her. And then she interprets that as you are lying. And so she starts second guessing you. She starts second guessing your intentions. And she goes, he's not telling the truth. And so for some women, it goes, he's not telling the truth, so he's probably seeing another woman. You know, they take it to the extreme of, well, it's got to be another woman. When really all it is you're not using your damn mouth and verbally expressing where you're having challenges in the relationship. And that's your responsibility to do that because you value yourself. What is the point of stuffing that into your body and holding that and just walking around hoping that things are going to work themselves out? Things do not work themselves out if you are not willing to have a conversation about it. I'm going to say that again. Things do not work themselves out unless you, my dear, are willing to have a conversation about it. So, Brian, he says, can you speak to a woman's jealousy, root cause, and how a man should respond? At the root cause, most women have felt a sense of abandonment in their life. And so they live with that feeling of this good thing that I have can be taken away from me. Now, that gets exacerbated when a man is not fully being honest and open about the things that are not so great in the relationship. And so you guys both have a mutual responsibility. You can't shy away, Brian, about this. If it bothers you, you can have loving conversations, but you get to address this and say, hey, this is a real concern for me. And it makes me feel on edge. It makes me feel frustrated. It makes me second guess myself. But also, it's her responsibility to say, "Hey," it's creating a safe, because listen, a lot of people come from trauma. Like, trauma happens to all of us. Some people have had to endure it for a longer period of time than others. Some people, it's not a one-off event. Sometimes it's a series of events. Then what happens is, in that relationship, you create a safe container for you guys to keep an open conversation. When I say open, I mean it's an ongoing conversation. But if that's her challenge, and if you love her enough to walk through challenges with her, that you can say, "Hey, this is an open door, and we're not just going to have one conversation," because that person who's triggered with abandonment, they know that one conversation is not going to knock it out. And so when they know that their partner says, "Hey, this is an open door that we get to continue to have a conversation about," that creates peace in them, that they don't have to live in angst and uncertainty of the shoe's going to drop. It doesn't drop because there's an open door to have a conversation about it. The challenge is when a woman starts becoming controlling, which I have struggled with this. I know a lot of women have struggled with this. Of when we start trying to control out of that jealousy, that's when it becomes toxic. But typically, we control when we're afraid. So when we create a safe place for our partner, we give them no reason to be afraid. Brian, I hope that that helped you out. Uh, Mr. Mega Guy 10. Hi there, Erica. John here from Cooper City, Florida. Thank you so much for being here, darling. Jim says, "Like your tips, you're so beautiful." Thank you, darling. That really is very nice to hear. Um, let's see. I'm sorry, it just skipped a little bit, so I'm just trying to go back. Um, Shoot, sorry, guys. Uh, it really skipped. Okay. Um, Yeah, someone said, "Sounds like you have a cold." Yeah, I know. Ever since I've been back to Texas, I'm not used to all like running air conditioners everywhere. I've been living in Bali, and then in Europe they don't use air cons as much, so my body is not liking these constant air conditioning. It's like everywhere you go, it's like an ice box, and my body's like, I don't like that. Get me back to my hot climates where people don't use air conditioning. Um, Greg Russell says, "Should I confront her about her constantly saying she's on another level?" Absolutely. And the question you ask her is this a conversation you need to have with yourself to prove to yourself? Or is there something that you're passively trying to communicate with me? Because if so, it would be really helpful if you just spoke to me directly. I hope you wrote that down. If not, you can come back and watch it and write it down. Um, you're welcome, Raheem. Um, What is a bracelet that you're wearing with the lingerie? I wear this all the time. It's my Coco Chanel bracelet, because I really love Coco Chanel and what she built for herself. Um, Pradeep says, "What if I don't like to travel and most of the women in the world like to travel?" Um, Find a partner who's okay with traveling by themselves. That doesn't mean you have to go. It's they can go and take their own trips, and maybe negotiate. Are you willing to travel once a year at least, just once, and meet them halfway, but also give them the opportunity to go, "Hey, I totally support your journey wanting to traveling. It doesn't work for me, but you have at it, and I can't wait to be here when you come back." I hate alcohol, so I don't hang around bars and nightclubs, whereas the majority of women like them. And bars are more of a social area. Doesn't mean you have to drink alcohol. You can totally show up and have a soda water. You don't have to drink alcohol to go to a bar. But those are typically places that people socialize. But look for art venues. Look for workout clubs. Join places where there's already a built-in established community and surround yourself in those environments. Uh, what does it mean when your ex keeps asking your mutual friends about you? Means that they're probably interested in you still and want to see if there's an open door. Scott says, "Hi, Erica. Can you please do the lives at a different time? It is 3 a.m. in Australia." I cannot, my darling. I always build my business around me and my schedule. And so you can always come around and watch it from the beginning. I so appreciate you being here. I hate that you're up at 3 a.m. That is not fun. It might work for you better when I'm back in Bali because then we're in the same, more of the same time zone. Um, all right, it's getting real now. Fourth one, affirming. Affirmation, affirmation, affirmation. Some guys are really good at this and some guys suck. Just suck. When it comes to affirming a woman, listen, I don't know if you know this, but women put a lot of effort into maintaining their looks, and so when a woman does that, if you can just say, wow, your nails look beautiful, your hair looks beautiful, that lipstick looks beautiful, I love that dress, I love those shoes. Affirming those things says, hey, I see that you took the time to do that, and I really value that. I really appreciate that. When a woman feels appreciated, guess what? Once again, it's back to her showing up in her full feminine essence and her full glory. She's going to show up full throttle for you when she feels appreciated. So a lot of times, guys just think things and they don't say it to women. And so that affirmation means a lot. When you see her putting in effort, acknowledge that. If she's supporting you in something, saying, hey, I really appreciate how supportive you are. It makes my life feel so much fulfilling knowing that you have my back. Instead of just thinking those things, we've got to say them. So giving a woman affirmation is super powerful. And I think that a lot of men start off doing that and then they just stop. And it's like, listen, to keep a woman, to keep a man, this is something that we want to show up with from our heart on a consistent basis. We want to let our heart express itself to that person by saying, I value this about you. I appreciate this. I see this in you, and it means the world. And affirming that in that person. So, number one, consistency and communication. Two, grooming. Three, verbally expressive. Four, affirming it. And so, with verbally expressive, we even said, even when things are hard, expressing yourself, even when there are challenges. And the last one is this: initiative, leading by setting up dates. When he is habitually leading in the relationship by taking that initiative, a woman really loves that. Now, what does initiative look like? It means initiative, as I just said, setting up dates, initiative to communicating and having conversations about what matters in the relationship. Most of the time, women feel like this falls on them because they're more communicative. And so, when a man can lead and take the initiative to open up the door about conversations of, hey, listen, I just want to have a conversation with you. I noticed that you're having a really hard time at work, and I want to know, is there any way I can support you in this? Like, do you need to talk through it? Do you need your space? Do you just need me to hold you and be like, I'm sorry you're going through this. This is going to be okay. We're going to get through this. But initiating those hard conversations, women really love that sort of initiative because typically these sort of things fall on her shoulders. And over time, it's just like anything, there are certain things that fall on men's shoulders, and you're like, I just wish a woman would pick up the slack with this. And rightly so. And rightly so. This is a mutual exchange here, there's no hierarchy. But when a man takes an initiative, it shows a woman that she's taken care of. It says that, listen, this relationship is a priority to him. It says, I am a priority to him. And it says, this guy really cares and he's putting his heart into this. And so sometimes just taking the initiative shows the other person that you care. And I think that all too often we go, well, of course I care. No, no, no. You can take those two words and throw them out the window. Of course, nothing. Don't ever assume. Communicate, take that initiative. And when you take that initiative, you are showing her that you care. You are showing her that you value her. You are showing her that you love her. And of all of these habits, this is why they're called a habits, because a habit is what? Something that you habitually do, you do on a consistent basis. Oh, I just missed a comment. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, Brian says, great session with sound advice. I'm glad that spoke to you, my darling. Michael says, inconsistency and grooming is also a sign of disrespect to your partner or potential partner. Yeah, it says, I don't care anymore. I got you. You're here. Great. And I'm really not feeling this relationship as much anymore, essentially, is what it's saying. Um, Thank you, Michael. He says, love to see you talk. How are you? Love you. Keep smiling. I am doing well, darling. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Derek from California. Um, oh, I love that. Mark says, I am disabled for life, but I'm refusing to accept it because I'm proving every doctor wrong. I love that emotional warrior, that warrior mentality. Kudos to you. Kudos to you, Mark, for defying the odds. I salute you. Um, Tamir says, if you didn't have a pretty face, where would you be today? I don't think that you need a pretty face to impact and change people's lives. I see many people who don't have a pretty face and they still show up in the world powerfully. So I don't know where you're going with that question. Uh, Ninja Wolf says, Texas ain't nothing to mess with. You're right on that. Um, let's see. I'm trying to if I skip your comment, that means that you've already asked a question and I'm trying to give other people an opportunity to have their questions answered as well. Siddharth Lahori says, I don't agree with you. Okay, you don't have to. I'm not here for people to agree with me. And if you don't resonate with it, please find someone that does resonate with you and get the support that you need. Ruben says, "Why does a woman think you don't love her when I really do very much? Because of everything I've just said in this video, Ruben. So I encourage you when this is finished, watch it from the beginning and take notes and ask yourself, Ruben, ask yourself, am I showing up this way on a consistent basis? But go back to the beginning of this. Uh, Brandon says the truth is that most guys are more concerned with a woman's overall beauty in general. We're not obsessed with every little detail of beauty like women are. That's true. But we always want to acknowledge the effort that someone has made. I'm not saying get obsessed over it, but I'm saying acknowledge it. Just the same way, listen, she could probably give two shits about, the person who's a pain in the ass at your job, but because it matters to you, she's going to ask because it concerns you or the sports channel that you watch. I see so many women who are not into sports and then they start watching it with men just to support their men and then they eventually get into it. So it's not, yes, it's meeting a person where they are and acknowledging the effort that they've made for you. Um Joseph says, love your slim arms and guns, Arica. Any chance of a quick gun show flex? Um, Jarrell says, I think it's a woman's job to show she cares. She should appreciate us. It's both. It's not one or the other. I don't know where you guys get off with this. It's when I give it, let's just like understand where I'm coming from. I give advice to men. I don't know if you've noticed that, but if you look at my banner, it says that I help men. Okay. So I am giving this to help men. But yes, overall, to me, it seems like common sense, but maybe it's not. And I'm happy to bring clarity to that. It is a mutual exchange. Let me just say that. It is a mutual exchange for men and women to show up consistently for one another, showing that they care, that they value, that they appreciate the other person. So, Gerald, maybe you're new here, but that is a consistent theme that I run on my channel. Let's see. Gary from Illinois, when will you be leaving Texas to Europe? Europe is going on quite a bit of a lockdown, so that's a great question. I'm still trying to get those answers for myself. Ruben, make sure you watch this video from the beginning, babe. I think it will really help you out. Brandon says, laughing out loud. Know what you mean. Thanks for clarifying, Arica. You're so welcome, Brandon. I don't want to say your name again because now I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. But he said that I just pronounced his name correctly, and he's amazed. We're going to leave it there because I don't want to mess it up. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Remember, you guys have what it takes. I am always just your guide. I'm here to serve and support you guys to go, listen, let's remove the confusion and to help you guys connect with women intimately so that you feel confident. When you know what to do, you can feel confident about how you move forward with women. So if you need any help and you need like more clarity around that, make sure that you get my Compliments Bible. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I love you. You matter. And I will see you in my next live video. You take care.